Now, let's move from low-life scum to a powerful iteration of hope for both people and planet activists running for office. In a little place called Culver City, in a little place called Los Angeles, an experienced activist is running for office. Last week, Daniel Lee spoke to us about his campaign, the issues facing his city, and the importance of local politics. Take a look. You have been an activist for quite some time now. Why did you decide now to run for city council?
Well, I'd actually been thinking about it for, I would say, like the last 4 to 7 years. And I've been thinking about it more in the, God, I hope somebody else comes along so I don't have to run for office sort of way. But if you pay attention to our national politics, whether it's, the Republicans who are becoming a little more outwardly fascist by the day, or the Democrats who, you know, even when Reagan was president, would probably be considered moderates or conservatives the way they are now, it's pretty clear that we're going in the wrong direction. And I personally know a lot of activists and organizers around the country, and I think a lot of them would just do a much better job. But if no one else is doing it, and only the selfish people who are either looking out for their own self interest or looking out for some other person's business interest do it, then, we are, I guess, well, whatever, we're fucked.
Yes, straightforwardly put. Talk a little bit about like the city council vote. I mean, a lot of people are arguing now whether it matters that anybody votes for the president because it's all going to be rigged and yada, yada, yada. Talk a little bit about what that's like on a local level and thereby the importance of local politics.
I think in terms of being disillusioned with politics, that holds true more for national politics than it does for local politics. I think the sad thing is, though, people feel more empowered voting nationally. A lot of people don't know that if they vote locally, they have more effect on their day to day life. And it's not just potholes or, trash pickup. In Culver City, as I said, we're in a very weird position. 10% of the largest urban oil field in the country, the Inglewood oil field, is in Culver City. And the push right now is to get better regulations and setbacks for houses and, so oil derricks and wells have to be so far away. But for me, I think the focus should really be on ending the oil field, transforming it into something else. There's a plan that was on the books 10 years ago to change the Inglewood oil field into a very large park, sort of like Central Park or Griffith Park here in, Northeast Los Angeles. Even though I think that's an interesting idea, based on some environmental reports I've read recently, I'd be more in favor of turning the area, which is elevated, I'd be more in favor of converting that to a solar and wind farm. And then maybe over time, as it gets cleaned up, we could turn parts of it into a park because you can't just go from, oil field into park. There's a lot of cancer and asthma and emphysema and respiratory diseases that will come with that because there are a lot of people who live on the other side of the oil field that's not in Culver City who've had increased instances of brain cancer and all the other things I just mentioned. So really, we just need to end it. We need to find some alternative. But on the other side of Culver City, it's right on the border of Playa Vista and Culver City. There's a natural gas storage facility which was built at the same time as the storage facility in Porter Ranch and hasn't been, inspected, at the it's been inspected basically at the same rate as the one in Porter Ranch. So at any moment, we could have a similar environmental disaster here in Culver City. And even just yesterday, UC Irvine released a report around methane hotspots around Los Angeles County, and they are everywhere. It's not just Porter Ranch. But I think we really need to be active both in our transition from fossil fuels into more renewable sources, and in our community refusal to have, fossil fuel facilities in our area.
What would you say to people that say, like, activism is either this straightforward, no bullshit stuff on the streets, or it's politicians lying and being full of shit in, the houses of the powerful? What do you say to somebody who doesn't think that you can combine those two?
I think, like a larger goal for me is, amending the Constitution. And one of the really honest facts about that is, the current Congress is not going to do that for us. And the next Congress is probably not going to do that for us. And probably the next two, so we really need to take some steps if we're serious to replace those people. And part of my idea about running in general is to encourage other people to run. What if we had a whole bunch of people who were honest and straightforward and said, no, I believe everybody should succeed in this society. I believe that we're the richest country in the history of the world, and the fact that we have homeless people at all is disgraceful. Like, I believe that college should be free. I believe that you shouldn't go into debt, because you got sick. These are very, very, very basic things that most people would agree with. But by and large, we hear one or two or three prominent figures saying them. And I feel like if we moved up through the ranks, or, we don't even have to move up, if we just had very passionate elected officials on the local level, we could set the stage for our expectations on a national level. People would know, because of the way we vote locally and because of the local officials that we elect, that if you're not like in line with these guys, then I'm probably not going to vote for you for Senate or Congress or president. And I feel like we cut off our hands when we just stay in the realm of activism and organizing and don't really work the inside outside strategy, because it's very easy to ignore you if you have no power, but you're right.
For more information on Daniel Lee and his campaign, visit danielwaynelee.com.